Hello. This evening I'd like to share a little bit around the awareness of presence, the power of presence, the power of now. Now, Eckhart Tolle wrote a very famous book called The Power of Now, and currently it has about 3 million copies sold, and it's translated into 35 different languages. So we've always been interested in and had awareness about and thinking about and experiencing the power that is in the present moment. Deepak Chopra says, and science now corroborates, that the average person has between 60 and 80,000 thoughts in a day. Now, amazingly, 80% of those are negative. 95% of them are repetitive. And over 95% of them are either in the past or in the future. So all of that energy and all of that thought is out of the present moment. And the present moment is the only place where we have any power. So it's our freedom point. It's when we have the power to choose, to make changes, to create the life that we would choose to live. Now, I had a lovely teacher some years back, Ken Page, and he put it beautifully, and he said that being present, being in the moment, is the perfect access point for the finest reflection of source within me. So basically what he meant was, it's the moment when you get to know yourself, when you come home to yourself, and that can only happen in the present moment. Now, we all know people, and you've heard it said, somebody has a presence about them. And we know when we're speaking to somebody and in company of somebody who is present, because you feel it. And the amazing thing is, when they're present, it allows you to be present. So you feel that you're seen and you're heard. And equally we feel and know when we're in company, when the person that we're with is not present. Like how often have we gone to visit somebody and showed up in the body, but we've been so preoccupied by some worry or something we have to do that we weren't actually present at all. And the person that you're visiting knows that and feels that. Now, our children will always mirror that to us very, very much, because they're always in the moment, they're always present. And when they're looking for your attention, they will persist in that because they're staying in the present moment. And psychologists now say how important it is that you take the time, no matter how busy you are, that you sometimes take the time to connect with your children, even if it means like sitting down and meeting them eye to eye, so that you're showing them presence, you're mirroring presence for them, so that they then can put that into their foundation for their psyche going forward, teaching them how to be present with another. We often get here people coming into the shop who are really worried about their memory, and when you get chatting to them, they maybe have forgotten what they were sent in for, or noticing that they're forgetting things. And often it isn't at all about their memory. It's the fact that because they're a bit stressed, that they weren't actually present when the information was given in the first place. So it's not a memory issue, it's an alignment or a presence issue. So how do you become present? Now, for me, it's always the Om. It brings me into my space, it brings me into alignment. And for those who haven't listened to our previous presentations, the Om is a very powerful thing. It holds our vibration, and that's the sound within us. And it also holds the vibration of Mother Earth, and also the vibration of the cosmos, or the sound of the cosmos. And it's very recently come out that they can now graph the sound that the sun makes, and it's the Om. It runs to that vibration. So we have this thing going on where we have a macrocosm out there and a microcosm within us. And what's going on out in the planets also goes on within us. So when we chant the Om, all of the cells within us come into balance or come into alignment. And so you can say it or sing it or chant it. And it's very simple. You just take a breath in, and on the out breath you go Om. When you get used to doing the Om, you can actually feel all the parts of you come into presence, come into alignment. But you can simply do it with the breath. Just be putting a conscious attention into breathing in and breathing out. And it brings you into the present moment. Thich Nhat Hanh is a very powerful master of mindfulness. And he does it very simply. And he says, you know, as I breathe in, I'm conscious of my eyes. And as I breathe out, I smile with my eyes. Now, it's such a simple thing, but it does bring you into oneness, into that present moment. In the Vedic tradition, they have the technique of Tratak, where you focus on an object, perhaps a candle, and you have it at eye level. And with the breath and with the eyes, it brings you into alignment, into present. I had for years the mantra, as particularly used it, you know, when I was going to do some sort of a presentation or a talk, and I would simply say to myself, I am here, I am present, and I am now. And what that was doing was telling my consciousness to get here. You know, we are present now for whatever it is that we were going to do. So why is it so important to be present? And as I've already said, it's the only place where you have freedom to choose. And that's a huge thing. But also, it's when your aha moments come. How many great ideas have been floating around, and when they came to us, we just weren't at home. We were off worrying about something in the past or something in the future. So there was nobody home for that idea to settle in. Some people call it, you know, an aha moment. I tend to think of it like an inspired moment. And the other night when I was going out for a walk, and I was just taking a wee second just to come into balance so that I'd experience the walk that I was going to have. And I got the idea, or the drop-in idea, to phone a very good friend of mine. And so as soon as I started the walk, I phoned her. And it just so happened that she was having a bad time. She'd gotten a little bit of bad news. And because I followed the thought, the inspired action, we had a lovely conversation, and things got to be healed and got to be made a little bit easier. So when you're present, you hear those inspirations, or you see what's your next logical step or your next move. One of the other big things when you're present is nature can speak to you. And so when you're present, you hear the sound of the birds much more powerfully, and you notice the colours in nature and the colours in the flowers in your garden, and nature gets to talk to you in many different ways. Now, an amazing coincidence happened this morning. I was out in my garden and I was having a cup of tea, and I was just thinking about this part of the presentation this evening, and I was just thinking about the birds singing, and two beautiful cranes flew right above my head. Now, they were very low flying, and I could see every detail of them. And for me, the crane is very important. Its symbology is very important to me, and it's always showed up in big moments of my life. I remember some years back, I was doing some forgiveness of myself and some forgiveness of another. And I was driving along, and I was literally pulling it out of me and really looking at it. And I just gotten to the stage, right, this is done. This is forgiven, and I can let this go now. This is healed. And on the side of the road was this enormous, beautiful crane standing on one leg. And it took me so much by surprise that I stopped the car, and it didn't move. And it was like, for me, it was a validation and an affirmation that yes, this is healed, and it is done, and you can let it go. My lovely friend Maidi, he has great knowledge on these things, and he was telling me that the crane, the pouch, you know, underneath the neck of the crane, the pouch was used as the totem bag for the herbs, the healing herbs of the Tuatha De Danann. And when I heard that, that resonated with me. It felt true for me, because in this life, that's what one of the things that I do. I spend time working with natural remedies and herbs for healing and health and well-being. So how are we going to remain present? And Cathal Gibran says, you know, that yesterday is just a memory of today, and tomorrow is just a dream of today. So it's all about now. It's all about today. And whatever method that you choose to bring yourself into the present moment, it's a really good idea to catch yourself. You know, you could be doing the dishes or driving or whatever, and you catch yourself going, what am I thinking? And it's a real way for you to show yourself your own patterns. So when what am I thinking? Is it negative? Is it in the past? Is it in the future? And you, because it's a pattern can be changed. Now, they say it takes 21 days to change a pattern. So we can build new pathways in the brain that will keep us present within those 21 days. So simply by drawing your awareness into what am I thinking? What's my inner dialogue about? How am I feeling when I'm thinking? And bring yourself in whatever method that you choose into the present moment. And from that place, you have a true moment to create the life that you would choose to live. It's a moment, the present moment is that only free space that we have to do that. So if you like this and you would like to hear more of this style of awareness, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Christine's Connections. I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope you practice it over the next 21 days and see how life can truly change. Namaste.